Palestinians are doing is officially tearing up all the peace agreements it signed, starting with Oslo. And to me, it's refreshing because it never had any intent of abiding by these treaties. And when it was signed in '93, the idea of having a state in return for recognition of Israel and peace and giving up of terror was always deceit on the part of the Palestinians. They never intended it. But Americans and Israelis believed it and talked themselves into believing. After they were offered the Palestinians a state in 2000 by President Clinton and said no, that was our first clue. Secondly, in 2001, lastly in 2008, when the Israelis offered Abbas, whom we saw in the clip, a state with all of the West Bank and Jerusalem as a capital, independence, and the Palestinians said no. Why? Because they have no intention of establishing a state while recognizing the state of Israel as a Jewish state and living in peace. The idea is we're going to have now with the UN to have a
Palestinians be doing what they're doing, given the fact that they've in effect been dealing with the most pro-Palestinian administration in recent memory. What I think we're likely to see unfold over the next week, over the next several days, is whether the Clinton administration can actually use this so-called smart power to keep from having to actually have to veto this thing and keep them from being faced by Mahmoud Abbas. There's some question as to whether, if this goes to the Security Council, will they get the 9 votes needed to force a U.S. veto? Unclear, but it's very clear that the State Department wants to avoid that at all costs and look at least against, like they're not doing publicly, as opposed to the Palestinians as they seem to be at least behind the scenes.
How big a problem is this for the administration?
Well, you said Clinton administration. I think you meant Obama administration. You mean Clinton administration at the State Department. Secretary Clinton. But I hope they have the same policy. And I think it is a problem for the Obama administration in that any hopes they had that are coming from the U.S. Congress, Republicans and Democrats, especially in the aftermath of the election last week in a congressional district that's 40% Jewish and has strong Jewish turnout for the Republican, to take away the $500 billion or whatever that's given to the Palestinians by the United States. That just basically takes us out of the deal. I mean, why would the Palestinians then listen to us? I mean, they would just pursue their antagonistic position towards Israel. Now, the counter position here is this going to force the Israelis to truly, sincerely get involved in negotiations with the Palestinians? Because that's what you're hearing from Abbas. That's what you heard in that interview. He doesn't believe that the United States is putting sufficient pressure on Israel. And given the American position right now, and given American politics, it's impossible.
Well, with all due respect, Abbas is the one who was in negotiations with the Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Olmert, at the end of 2008.